Greenland is an immense island. It is the largest island on Earth. From above, it looks like a vast shield of white. An enormous ice sheet covers more than 80% of its surface. This ice is ancient. In places, it is over 3 kilometers thick. Stories of past climates lie trapped in layers of frozen time. The ice is not still. It moves. It flows slowly toward the sea through giant glaciers. These rivers of ice carve deep valleys, fjords. They reach the dark, cold waters of the North Atlantic. They reach the Arctic Ocean. Greenland sits between North America and Europe, a colossal bridge of ice and rock. The world knows Greenland for this ice. The sheer scale is hard to grasp. If all this ice melted, sea levels would rise by more than 7 meters. That makes Greenland important to everyone. But the island is not just frozen water. It is a land of dramatic contrast. Along its winding coast are strips of land free from the ice. In the brief summer, resilient flowers bloom. Arctic animals find food along the shore. Coastal villages, people who've lived here for millennia, balance life with formidable nature. The sea around Greenland is as important as the land. Cold ocean currents bring life, rich with nutrients. That supports a web of life, from tiny plankton to great whales. Seals and walruses rest on floating sea ice. Polar bears hunt along frozen shores. The story of people in Greenland begins long ago. Incredible journeys across a harsh landscape. They came from the west, crossing the frozen Nares Strait. Around 4,500 years ago, the Sakak people made this crossing. They lived in small, mobile groups, following the animals. They hunted muskox on land and seals along the coast. Their exquisitely crafted stone tools tell of ingenuity and resilience. After Sakak faded, new groups arrived, among them the Dorset people, flourishing from about 800 BC. Skilled artists, they carved animals and haunting human faces. Powerful hunters whose lives followed the rhythms of stable Arctic ice. About 1,000 years ago, another people came from the east. They sailed magnificent longships across stormy seas, the Norse. Erik the Red, exiled from Iceland, led settlers to Greenland. He found green, sheltered fjords, and named the land to attract others. Farmers on the Arctic edge, they built sturdy homes and tended livestock. They raised churches and a cathedral, a European outpost far north. Trading walrus ivory and more for iron, grain, and church materials linked them to Europe. Then came the Little Ice Age, colder seas, shorter summers, shrinking harvests. Sea ice strangled travel, trade dwindled, walrus ivory lost value. By the late 1400s, the Norse were gone, likely from climate, isolation, and conflict. Around 1200, the Thule, ancestors of today's Inuit, arrived as expert marine hunters. With umiaks, kayaks, dog sleds, and ingenious harpoons, they thrived. Whales provided food, fuel, and materials for entire communities. Archaeology suggests contacts, iron prized by Inuit, furs and ivory valued by Norse. As Norse declined, Inuit culture spread coast to coast, masters of the Little Ice Age. In the Age of Exploration, England, the Netherlands, and Denmark, Norway sent ships north. They sought the Northwest Passage and Wales, oil and baleen feeding European demand. Inuit knowledge became indispensable. New jobs, new dependencies. Not all meetings were peaceful. Misunderstandings and conflict flared. Worse than weapons were diseases. Epidemics devastated communities. Entire villages vanished. Social and spiritual worlds were shaken. A stable world was changing, driven by forces from far across the ocean. In the 1700s, Denmark-Norway reasserted claims. Missionary Hans Egede sailed in 1721. He founded Godthåb, today's Nuuk, and turned to converting Inuit. A royal monopoly controlled commerce and expanded missions along the west coast. Colonial outposts grew into towns: Ilulissat, Sisimiut, Qaqortoq. Population was centralized to ease governance, schooling, and conversion. Shamanic traditions were suppressed, the language set to script for the Bible. Life mixed protection and control, a closed colony for nearly 2 centuries. In 1940, Denmark fell to Nazi Germany. Greenland stood alone. Greenland turned to the United States. Bases and airfields transformed the island. Thousands arrived with jobs, money, movies, music. Isolation shattered. Colonial status ended in 1953. Citizenship and welfare state investment followed. Mass modernization, new services, industry, but social upheaval. Moves broke ties, hunting skills faded, concrete towns bred alienation. Home rule in 1979. Greenland's own parliament and government took shape. Greenland left the European community. The path to greater self-rule continued. In 2008, voters backed enhanced self-rule, enacted on June 21, 2009, National Day. Kalaallisut became the sole official language. Greenlanders recognized as a people under international law. More domestic powers followed, from fisheries to education. Debates intensified over oil, gas, and minerals. Who decides? How to balance economy with environment and culture. Denmark retains foreign affairs and defense. The roadmap to possible independence is clearer. A new generation blends ancient knowledge with modern innovation. Heritage and technology guide the same journey. Greenland is vibrant, a homeland of profound beauty and agency. Listen beyond headlines. Hear Greenlanders in their own language. Decisions made at home shape a distinct future. Self-rule is a milestone on a longer journey. What happens in Greenland resonates worldwide. The next chapter is being written now. The Arctic warms twice as fast as the world. In Greenland, change is everywhere. Glaciers once stable for centuries now race backward by kilometers. Winter ice grows thinner and less reliable. Travel grows dangerous. These shifts reshape daily life and traditions. Retreating ice reveals rocks rich in iron, zinc, gold, rare earths. New seasonal sea routes beckon. Offshore exploration seems closer. Resources promise revenue, schools, hospitals, infrastructure. But extraction risks scars and pollution in fragile ecosystems. An Arctic spill could be catastrophic. Communities weigh economic promise against culture and environment. Tourism grows as ice drama draws the world. Fisheries remain the backbone. Yet warming shifts fish stocks. Choices made here will echo for generations. Greenland seas are a barometer for our oceans. What happens in Greenland doesn't stay in Greenland. The story of Greenland is long and winding, of ice, rock, survival, adaptation. A human story written on one of Earth's toughest canvases. From the first Sakak footprints to spirited debates in Nuuk. A resilient culture holds fast, rooted in a unique language and powerful traditions. Unparalleled Arctic knowledge guides the way. Its melting ice drives global seas. Distant coasts feel the rise. Choices about minerals and energy shape markets and the green transition. Young Greenlanders return with skills to build a sustainable future. Ancient wisdom, modern tools, one path. Their voices, in their own language, are the ones to hear. This is no empty wasteland. It's dynamic, vital, and home. Care for its future is care for our planet. We can listen, we can learn, we can act. We are all connected.